Hi, I'm Heather Dawson. I'm a glass artist, and I create happiness to share with others. I've given you all a glass of water. We could debate whether the glass is half filled or half empty, whether it represents optimism or pessimism, whether it's tangible or non-tangible. I'd like to share with you what it represents to me. For me, the water is happiness. And the glass, it's refillable. So when I see someone whose glass is a little bit on the low side, I can share my glass with them and refill their happiness. I don't ever worry about my own glass being on the empty side. The more you share, the more you have. Whether I'm sharing a glass of water or my glass art, it brings me joy to see happiness in those around me. I hope you find joy and happiness today in my presentation.
I found glass art by chance. My sister was in fine arts and she wanted to do a project using broken pieces of glass. So I tagged along and we went to a glass studio, and while she ended up doing something completely different for her project, for me, it was love at first sight. I remember standing in awe, looking at the beautiful colors displayed in the windows and the immense quantity of sheet glass that was for sale. Immediately I signed up for a class. Living at home with my parents, being fresh out of high school, I had the freedom to gather tools and supplies for this new and exciting pursuit. After my first class, I signed up for another, and then another, and then another. I bought tools, many sheets of glass, and my first kiln. I let creativity flow. I had very few expenses at the time, and I didn't worry about failure. Some of my trials worked, some of them not so much. Experimentation, I believe, is a very valuable teacher. Some of the things that I found out were inclusions in the glass. Some things burned up entirely during the firing process, other items changed color or texture, and some things they turned into a fine layer of ash encased in glass. I absorbed as much information as I could about glassworking. I took classes in person, I researched online, I found manufacturer project guides that I could try out and test for myself. I even traveled to some glass making facilities to see how they manufactured the glass and the process behind that. I had suggestions from coworkers who were interested in what I was doing, and they sparked new ideas for me. And eventually I had friends ordering Christmas gifts from me. It's a rush of excitement to have someone pick up and hold something that you've created and put your heart and soul into. See the spark of joy in their eyes. It's indescribable. When I moved from home, it was heartbreaking, no longer having a dedicated workspace that I could go to every day. And traveling for an hour just so that I could use my tools and my creativity, it wasn't an option. So, knowledge from working within the construction industry, I designed and set in motion a new studio. I planned the different aspects that I was going to need. I anticipated a larger kiln down the road. I knew I would need lots of storage space and ample bench space to lay out projects and work on them. When I was growing up, I watched and helped my dad, who was an avid woodworker, and I learned many skills from him. My dad, who built his own home, along with my partner and I, we put in many long hours during construction of my studio, but it's so rewarding having a dedicated workspace, a beautiful idea that came to fruition.
A client came to me with an idea. His grandfather played briefly with the band The Guess Who, and my client wanted to have the guitar immortalized in glass for his mother. She loves flowers, so that needed to be part of the design as well. We agreed on the concept for the project, and I got to work. Using glass powders and sheet glass, I cut and shaped the body of the guitar and shaded the edges to match the image the client had supplied. Once the powder shading was fired into the glass, I painted the detailing onto the body with enamel and sent it back into the kiln a second time. A third firing at a lower temperature completed the gold and silver luster. The flowers were given details using the same powder technique for shading the body, while the neck and head were painted with enamels and with gold and silver luster. Once all the components were ready, I assembled the project using copper foil and solder. For the guitar strings, I used a tinned copper wire and threaded it through holes drilled into the guitar body. Finally, a patina was carefully applied to oxidize the solder and give it a distinct blackened color to show off the delicate colors of the glass.